This is Kugan Cassius for iFLTV. Delighted to be joined by legendary and Hall of Fame promoter Frank Warren.
Go on, yeah.
And Eddie Hearn, obviously, yes. How are you both, first of all?
Excellent. Long day. We've been at this since, 8 o'clock this morning, been on the road.
And it's 7 o'clock. And you're the last interview.
Is that the best or the quickest one?
Well, we thought we'd save the best for last, but it's going to be a quick one.
Okay, we'll see how long I can prize out of you guys. 3 years ago, generally, somebody said to you, you two would be doing a media tour, which is what you've done today in London. Your honest thoughts of that situation occurring? Say 2 years ago, rather than 3 years ago.
Well, obviously, I don't think that would have been happening. I don't think it'd be the last thing we've been doing, but it's 2 years. In those 2 years, or the last 18 months, things have changed dramatically. And, you know, through Riyadh season, His Excellency, we have been collaborating and working together. You know, when I say me and Eddie, and more Eddie and George, to be quite honest. He's our CEO. They're the guys who've been doing a lot of this together. And I'm proud of what they both have done. And I'm delighted to be sitting here today. For me, it's brilliant. It's great for the sport. It's great for both of us. It's a pleasure to be doing this together, and I really do mean that. I'm sweating my cods off here, though. This room is just so hot for me. And we go onwards and upwards together, working together to deliver big fights, working for our respective companies, Matchroom and Queensberry. We're rivals. We want to be the best on Dazn. That's our home now. For both, well, it's been his home for many years. He's had the foresight and the vision and the balls to get into Dazn in the first place. We're here now. We've got a great roster of boxers, and I'm looking forward to, from our perspective, to delivering and collaborating together, continue to deliver the best, because it's been brilliant for everyone. It's been brilliant for the fans, it's been brilliant for our businesses, and it's certainly been brilliant for the boxers.
Right.
Well, you can still kind of just go on from what Frank said.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the problems that we've had in the past is you, really. I mean, me and Frank coming closer together has kind of pushed us further apart, because we've realised that your fuckery over the years has been the reason that we never got on. Because we've sat down and gone, you know, every time we go out for dinner or we talk about boxing, we go in, how have we never actually been out to dinner before or done business before? And it's because you were stirring the shit. We've also realised that your entire platform and business was built off our rivalry. And we are rather concerned about your future, if I'm honest.
If you want me to comment really honestly on this situation, this term is called gaslighting, convincing the public that this situation didn't occur for 10 years. I'm not responsible for what comes out your mouth, Frank, or yours. And I'd leave your office. Of course I loved it, absolutely. Leave your office, go straight to Frank's and vice versa. But what you said is what you said.
No, but the thing is,
what
you used to do is this is what you used to do. So you would do an interview, right, where it would be like, you know, and your title would be something like, wow, Warren slams Hearn and says F ... this, blah, blah, blah. And I'll see that, I'll go, what? And then we'd speak, right? And I'd go, and you'd go, all right, Ed, yeah, been with Frank today. Don't know if you see what he said. Do you want me to come around and do a bit? I'm like, yeah, fucking drive around now. Yeah?
You're a grown man. Like, you're not a child, are you? If I say that to you...
You're a liberty taker, isn't you? Gaslighting. That's what you used to do.
Absolutely not. You both are grown men. I'm not responsible for what comes out of your mouth, either one of you.
Oh, Ed, guess what? Just done an interview with Frank. Whoo, you're not going to believe what he said about you. Oh, what'd he say, Coop? This, that. I mean, if you want, I just happened to be in Brentwood. Do you want me to pop round? Yeah, come round. And the same thing with him. Oh, Frank, yeah, I'm in Hertfordshire. Oh, do you want me to pop round to the office? You were the reason.
In the words of Roy Keane, that's our job. That's what we do. What were you expecting?
He's Irish.
Yeah, I know. But
Mixing bastard.
who stressed each other out more in that 10-year, 11-year period? Did you stress him out more, or vice versa?
I never got stressed.
You had a few moments, Frank. You lost it. I can name a couple of interviews where you lost it.
It's only because when you say stressed, well, you think I've thought about it. Of course I never. You come round and say, "Oh, Ed said this, and what's you got to say about it?" I'll respond to that. After that, it's gone and done. And I might have done my, said it how I said it, but you know what? Do I care about it at the end of the day? No, maybe a couple of things. But to be really honest about it, who gives a flying shit? What happened yesterday is gone. No one can change it. Where we are now, I think, is in a good place, which is absolutely screwed up your clickbait. But mind you, you'll probably get some good clickbait out of this today.
Absolutely.
Because that's the business you're in. But yeah, look, I love this. I love what we're doing. I love being here at Dazn. I look at this as a magnificent opportunity for Queensbury to go on and become even bigger and do bigger shows. I look on this as a magnificent opportunity for us as collaborators working together, and I look on this as brilliant for the fans. They've got one-stop shop now, one subscription, great fights, not just us, other promoters on there, Oscar and a few of the other guys. This is what it's all about. This is the future, and the future is really, really bright. It's really bright for all of us, and we continue doing what we're doing. The sport will grow, the channel will grow, the subscriptions will grow, which means there'll be more, hopefully more money there to put into bigger fights and better fights. That's where we're at. And have some fun, and enjoy it, and have some fun, and some really good lunches together, and drink some good wine, and it's
Malbec, yeah?
Well, it depends. I mean, it depends what food I'm having. But anyway, just enjoy ourselves and enjoy the fights. It's just been brilliant. Riyadh's been a revelation. This is a revelation. This is a revelation. Although I wish they'd turn the heating down. This is a revelation here, and it's no, it's all right. Don't worry. And as I say, I me personally, Queensbury. I now speak for George, my other son Francis, with his management company. This is brilliant time to be in the sport. How lucky are we all? For you as well, how lucky has everybody been to be now, looking at all these fabulous fights that are being put on. It's never been so good.
So for a fight fan, obviously you guys haven't been on the same platform since Sky, which has been well over 10 years ago when you were both on that platform. But to have you both on Dazn, for a fight fan, one subscription for that is a no-brainer and perfect.
Yeah, I thought that Dazn was incredible value before they signed with Queensbury. But the success, what I like about Dazn is the success that they're having. They're investing it in bringing more content to subscribers. And the fact that you can get, it's not just really the two biggest promoters in the UK, it's two biggest promoters in the world, really, in Matchroom and Queensbury. And the reality is you get our full international schedule. Now you get Queensbury's full international schedule. Plus you've got Oscar and Golden Boy. Plus you've got all these other fight nights. It is the global home of boxing, and it's unrivaled. And it's good for us. We still want a better schedule than Frank, and vice versa. But now when they've got a great show like the ones that are coming up, I can even pump it out. When I'm talking about Dazn's schedule, I'm also throwing in Queensbury, because we're all one movement, and that's quite unique, really. Don't forget to tune in. I'll be saying next week, we don't have a show next week. Another great positive, no clashes for fight fans. So this week, we're in Altrincham with Pat Brown Next Gen. I'll be saying next week, don't forget to tune in to Frank's show in Manchester. I'll be saying that in my interviews. And then we've got Bouts Stanionis, and then Frank's got a show. So it's weird in a sense, but it's all one movement, collectively moving forward to grow the platform as big as we can globally.
And there's a 30% discount as well on the
platform. I've heard.
It's amazing, isn't it? It's amazing. And that tells you their commitment to the sport to attract and bring on new subscribers. And it's bloody exciting times. It really is exciting times for us. And I know we're all going to make a good opportunity here, not foul. It's so good for everybody, and and as I say, it's going to be a blast. Some great fights to be made, fabulous fights to be made.
Right, I'll run through these instances very quick because I know you're sweltering, Frank. Frank, did you see the post that Ben Shalom put yesterday of a painting with you and him as if you two were going to fight with you as looked like a referee. Did you see this?
He sent it to me on WhatsApp. I didn't reply.
Who put this up?
Ben Shalom.
Listen, if he sees me in, if he sees me and he really wants that to happen, he would definitely wind up on the canvas himself.
Why am I so small in it? I don't know.
Why are you even in there? What?
I've got to be in
What is that all about?
Thanks for the...
For the
It was
present?
a painting that someone had done and kind of sent him, but he put on.
He wishes he looked like that. Look. Ripped to shreds. Mind you, Frank, you got a little six-pack there, haven't you?
I don't know about that. It's like a party four.
Put this image in so people know, but yeah. Can I ask you a question? Do you see a situation where Boxer and Ben Shalom come onto the design platform? And that's not really your question to answer, but do you see that situation happening?
Honestly, the more the merrier, right? I mean, Ben, you hear stuff all the time, don't you? Sky deals coming up, Sky going to leave boxing, Sky going to stay in boxing. It's not our business. We're with DAZN. But it doesn't matter whether it... I mean, at the moment, the one thing that you really need, and Frank knows this better than anyone, is a solid TV contract as a promoter. Because without one, you are fucked. Excuse my language. And you've got a lot of people at the moment that are without one. And if we can bring them to DAZN, great. I mean, you know...
You've got to have a stable of boxers to do that also. You have a TV contract, you've got to have a stable of boxers. If he does, he does. You know, I've got to be honest, I don't give a flying toss whether he's on there or not. It's not my business. We're on here and we're making good business. That's the one thing. And the one thing we make good business because we're honest with each other. We don't have to bullshit each other. We don't have to lie and say things, you know, that we're going to do that we don't do. If we say we're going to do something, we do it. And I've got to be honest, the proof's been in the pudding over the last year where we've agreed deals, shook hands, and that's it. Yeah? Picked up the phone, we do this, that, yeah, it's done. Not doing a deal and then the next day...
To be fair, everything... That's quite unusual, really, because for all the rivalry over the last 15 years, sometimes there's some teething problems. Yeah. But there hasn't been. Every deal that we've done, every fight that we've made, and we're actively trying to help each other on different bits and pieces. He stood down on a few bits that have helped us, vice versa. And every time we make a fight now, we do a card. One of the things we're thinking about is, who's Queensbury got that we can match our guys with, or, you know, because there's narrative there. And we're with the same broadcaster.
You could answer this question all in the same breath regarding Daniel Dubois. When I spoke to you last week, Frank, or the week before, you said that Daniel told you what he wanted to do. Yep. If it happens, everyone will be happy. And I spoke to you a few days after. You said that Joshua had a slight little niggle or injury or whatever. He won't be ready to the back end of summer. Mm-hmm. So where are you with both of them? We know the Usyk situation's there. Don't really know what's going on with Joshua in terms of what's the most likely chance for him. But are we ruling out Dubois, Joshua next for both fighters or not?
No, not at all. I think all options are open, but obviously AJ's got to be 100% fit to decide. I mean, I'm not speaking out of turn. That's for Eddie to decide. But when he's fit to box, there are a number of fights that can be made there. In the meantime, Daniel's made it very clear we want him out in June or July. We want him out because he missed that opportunity in Riyadh through illness. So we can make the priority for me, and I'm being very honest, would be to make for the 4 belts. It's a great rematch. Joe Parker's in a fabulous place. The WBO have ordered that Usyk's got to, because they're the next in line, has got to defend his title against Joe Parker. He's got to defend his title. But obviously, if there's a unification, that takes priority. Joe's in a fabulous position, and it'll in the next few weeks, everything will pan out and we'll know where we are with all these fights.
Yeah, I mean, for AJ, like you said, back end of the summer, the two preferred options, of course, one is TYSON FURY, of course, but it's out of our control, and the other one is Daniel Dubois. And if we can't make those fights or timings don't permit, he's going to fight someone.
Is Dillian White an option? Obviously, he's off the card next week, but is that an option?
It's not really one. I mean, I think Parker, Caballel, Wilder, like AJ's going to want the biggest fight. Dillian White, I haven't really thought about it, to be honest with you. But yeah, I guess, you know, I mean, yeah, I feel like, you know, we're not sitting tight to see, but we're in no tearing rush, especially with his injury. So we just got to make the right decision. This is the final chapter, you know, and it can always be your last fight. So AJ's probably got somewhere between 1 and 3 fights left. So we're not going to jump in to a fight when we're not 100% for the sake of a couple of months. We've got to be 100% ready. We've got to make the right decision because this is the final roll of the dice.
Have you said to me before that before assessing Joshua's options, you would always go to team like Frank Warren Queensbury about Fury and just see what his point was?
Yeah, you do put words in people's mouths a little bit. What I actually said was, before we make a final decision, we would probably speak to Frank, Team Fury, and go...
That's exactly what I just said.
The way you say it and the way you put it in your titles, ooh, Hearn's set for showdown talks with Warren, Fury, or something like that. Do you know what I mean? It's like...
How dare you?
Yeah, so it's like... But it's not really like... It's more of a... Frank, just before we make this fight, there's no chance, is there? And he would say, no, I've not spoke to him. Or, you know, he's not going to... He's made it clear, and he's right. He's not going to phone Fury and go, listen, Tyson, come on, son, one more fight. It's going to be Fury sitting at home, and he's just gone out and he's picked up a load of dog turd from the garden, and he's gone, fucking hell, I need to get back in the gym. But that hunger may never come again. The one key thing is both guys are still in their prime. No one's deteriorating. No one's looked like, I know AJ got beaten his last fight, but before then, he's the most dangerous heavyweight. He's in the best form ever. You know, Tyson's lost 2 close fights to Usyk. So it's still these guys in an epic fight. But listen, it's all down to Fury, God's timing, whatever you want to call it, of him one day going, I want to make the biggest fight in the history of British boxing. And if he does, we will make it in 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Is there any update on your £1 million bet with Chris Eubank, Edward?
Well, firstly, it was never a £1 million bet with Chris Eubank. I mean, secondly, obviously, him and his little crew have got these little, you know, they all sit there and go, well, what are we going to do today? You know, and what it was is, it seems to be, I mean, he is mentioning me a lot at the moment. I am rent-free in Mr. Eubank's head, which is quite kinky, to be honest with you. The way I look at it is like this. Ben Shalom stuck it on me with Chisora about 100 grand bet, right? So I just wanted to make him melt, and I said, let's do it in $1 million, let's put it in escrow tonight. And he went, so the bet was with Ben Shalom. Now, I know under the British Boxing Board of Control rules, which Ben quite quickly pointed out after, that he is not allowed to bet because it's British Boxing Board of Control rules. We know that. Chris Eubank and the Merry Men also know that I cannot bet, especially publicly. So they wanted to lay it down. So Chris Eubank has then asked me if I want to do the £1 million bet. By the way, not so long ago, we all received an email from the British Boxing Board of Control to say members, licence holders, are not allowed to bet in any fight they have any involvement with. Right? So obviously I'm not going to lose my licence, I'm not going to get fined. I also would never, ever have a bet with Chris Eubank Jr.
Can you expand on it? You told me that the other day, but you didn't give me a reason why you specifically said you wouldn't bet Eubank, or can you not?
Because you've got to be in good standing.
Is allegedly, didn't he lose 4 million playing poker to somebody?
I don't know. But for me, I used to work in poker. I mean, I spent 6 years running the biggest poker tournaments in the world. And I know all of that clique that he sits down with. So for me, whenever I bet with someone, I've got to know that, you know, It's a real bet. And escrows and things like that. Do you think when he plays poker, he puts his money in escrow? It's not how the poker world works. So, listen, I'm not getting into the personal back and forths. You know, you keep that up your sleeve. But there's no need to go into that. I just want to know that if I'm betting with someone, they're of, can we say, serious substance.
Okay, very last one. Obviously, the boxing world in complete mourning over the last 3 days, over the passing away of heavyweight icon George Foreman, and obviously one of the most renowned, if not the most renowned journalist from this country, in Colin Hart. Frank, I'll go to you first, somebody you had a long-standing relationship with in Colin Hart. Yeah, it was a sad day, or sad couple of days for boxing.
It was. We lost the doyen of British boxing writers, a friend of boxing, somebody who was highly, highly respected by everybody, not just in the UK, around the world, as a writer, and who lived and loved the sport. He was nobody's fool. He was his own man. He was very, and sometimes opinionated, but it was an opinion that he had and opinion that he stood up for. It's a real sad loss for him. It's a sad loss for his family, his wife Cindy, his daughters and his grandchildren, who were all at his bedside when he passed over. I had lunch with him, I don't know, it was about 5 weeks ago, and at that lunch I was surprised about his appearance. He'd lost a lot of weight, and a couple of days later he called me and said to me that he'd been diagnosed with stage 4 pancreatic cancer, which was, you know, obviously very sad for his family, for him, and sort of took me back. Although I'd seen he'd lost all this weight, it sort of quite shocked me, and he was just so philosophical about it. You know, he was very brave, and you know how he just said, he said, look, I've had a fabulous life. I wouldn't change a second of it. I've got a brilliant family. My wife had a great marriage and children, grandchildren, and I've loved everything I've done, loved every minute of it, would never change any of it. And, you know, my life has just been brilliant. And I thought, bloody hell, that's a way to be, isn't it? You know, it was just not, you know, not far off of his 90th birthday. And that was it. And within a couple of days, a couple of weeks, he was in hospital. He went in with I think he had some blood clots on his leg to be removed. And unfortunately, he had a couple of strokes in hospital, and that was it. Terrible, terrible thing. Ironic that he was the last British journalist who attended the Rumble in the Jungle, and you know, George Foreman, who was Muhammad Ali's opponent, had passed away as well. So it was a great shame for the sport.
Yeah, Eddie, just a word on Colin and also George Foreman.
Yeah, I mean, Frank knew Colin, you know, a lot better than I did, and you know, I think the one thing about Colin is that he would always give his opinion, regardless of who it upset. You know, he wasn't one of those sellouts that would sort of. No, he was friendly with Frank, but if he had an opinion, he'd still give it, even if it was going to upset Frank. And I had a couple of run-ins with him over at AJ over the years, but he was incredibly respected. I mean, I said earlier that when I first started promoting, if Colin Hart came to a presser, I would sort of think, that's Colin Hart over there. You know, that was kind of like the red tape of it being a serious show, even though you'd see him at small hall shows and you'd see him at pressers even when he wasn't working. You know, he was a boxing enthusiast, and everybody knew who Colin Hart was. Everybody knew who he was. And, you know, for George Foreman, I was really part of watching his second coming rather than the first coming. I mean, I know the stories and, you know, of course the Rumble in the Jungle, but even the Frazier fight when he went to Jamaica, he was supposed to be an opponent and went and destroyed him. But for me, it was really the fascination of the second coming. You know, when he fought Michael Moorer. And before he did that, he was around for a long time in that second comeback and lost. You know, I didn't know Frank promoted him as well in London, and You know, he actually lost to Tommy Morrison the fight before he beat Michael Moorer, and they picked him probably a bit like the Frazier fight as a decent name. Yeah. You know, and he went and knocked Michael Moorer out to become world heavyweight champion. So, again, a hugely iconic figure in the world of boxing. You're talking about someone that everybody knew. And, yeah, rest in peace, Colin Hart and Big George.
Absolutely. Frank Warren, Eddie Hearn, thank you very much so much to IFLTV. We'll expect an announcement about 5v5 very soon.
Hopefully very soon.
Fingers crossed.
We sent a list off today to His Excellency. 10 fights, actually, not 5. Yeah. So we got 1 spare. We do 2.
Okay. Looking forward to it. And you're going to watch all these fights on Dazn. 1 subscription. And subscribe now, you're getting 30% off.
This is what you're meant to be doing. He's done it for you.
That's good news, because I don't have to do it all the time, because Frank can do it as well. I've spent the last 5 years doing it every day of my life. Give me a day off, Frank can do it sometimes as well.
He does it better than me.
I'll see you in Altrincham, and we'll see you in Manchester next week. Frank Warren, Eddie Hearn, thank you very much.